Alright, you see it, you hear it, you know it. This is Pokemon SoulSilver right here. And I know I probably shouldn't have started a second playthrough for a game because I am also currently running through Pokemon Emerald Genesis version. And I do believe that I'm going to start a new game actually, just for the sake of the playthrough on here. But as I was saying, for the sake of the channel and myself, because I talked about it the other day with somebody, but I've had the itch to be playing this game, and Pokemon Emerald Genesis is also still a really fun game to be playing. Like, it takes all the quality of life things, and it just adds much more to that. Like, it's got a really cool day and night cycle, and you know, the battling, I guess it was supposed to have a little bit of a difficulty spike, but it doesn't. And I don't really care if it does or doesn't. Like, if I did care that much, I would be playing Platinum Renegade, which I may or may not do in the future. Who knows? Oh, God. I do that when I talk a lot. But, alright. We're going to choose to be a guy right here, young lad. Alright. We got to choose a very edgy name right here. So I always thought that this was an edgy name. So if your name is Seth, you're lucky. I always thought that was the coolest name, much cooler than mine, but you can just run by my alias of Wasabi because, you know, branding reasons. Let's see here. All right, so yeah, I always felt and believed and still feel and believe that this is not one of the best, if not the best, remakes, remasters, reboots, whatever you want to call it, that we had ever received. Because this definitely raised a lot of, I want to say, expectations for Game Freak and Nintendo. Because I know, like, nowadays, with the Diamond and Pearl that we just received, a lot of people backed out of that just because of the way that it looked, sound, you know, just basically how it appeared and what wasn't added to it, and because I know a lot of people wanted the platinum stuff added to it, such as, like, you know, the battling and stuff. And I don't know how the wonder trading's going to work, but I mean, obviously we'll see in future patches. But because in my perspective, I think it's because of games like this that we received in the past, where they super raised the bar and added so much freaking content that it's become what we expect, basically. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, I do have those kind of expectations as well. And ooh, time to choose a Pokemon. I know you've been waiting for me, and I know nothing of your research, but I have a feeling I'm about to do that for you. Pokeballs are great because you can carry many Pokemon. Absolutely, that's why we need them. Can you do something with blah blah blah? I'm going to give you a Pokemon. Can you walk beside a Pokemon outside of a Pokemon? That does remind me. I remember the little Pokewalkers that would come with these games. And it's crazy to look back on those now because, like, you go to eBay, Amazon especially, when you look for these versions of the games to try to buy, like, an original copy, these things are running anywhere for, like, what? Between $200 to $500, depending if you have a case and depending if you have a Pokewalker. Like, I remember having that back then. I would just sit there and I would, like, shake it like a shake weight for like 2 to 3 minutes and just, like, instantly level up my Pokemon like 3 or 5 levels or something like that. So with this playthrough, normally I would choose, like, Cyndaquil for my normal playthroughs, and I think there's only a handful of times I would choose Totodile, because there have been several times and occasions where I would go back and choose him for certain run-throughs, but I firmly believe in the underdog. So with that in mind and that being said, I think a lot of people don't choose Chikorita, and we're not going to be one of them. So we're going to choose Cyndaquil, and we're going to have a really good playthrough with this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to burn right through this. And now that my guy has an edgy name, we're going to go ahead and give Cyndaquil an edgy name. And what's an edgy name? Something with fire? Can't choose Ember because that is way too common of a name. So I don't think a lot of people go with this. I think this is pretty edgy. Look at me. I am Edge. We are Edge. Me and my Pokemon. And I will absolutely call him Shredder. So, yeah, he's going to send me off. How do we feel along with Pokemon? I do remember that when they brought this to the table, that this was like the coolest thing out of the whole game, at least for me. Because you got to see how certain sprites looked and everything outside the Pokeball and whatnot, and pick up items and stuff like that. So it was really good to count on at times. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to check all the trash bins. And he's got a memo on there. Press B for the blah, 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 blah. Alright, so I know about that. And we are walking so slow. Can't wait to get these running shoes out of the way. Alright, got some potions. Getting ready for taking on the big leagues here. But, yeah, you know, with this game being so good as it was back then, it raised all those expectations. And, you know, you receive games like X and Y and Sun and Moon. I know there's a lot of people out there that will really hold to it for Sun and Moon. But, in my opinion, shred me or not, no pun intended with my Pokemon being named Shredder. But I didn't really vibe with those games, to be completely honest. Like, they were cool ideas. Like, I believe in the way that I see it is when they put out X and Y, is that they were just really kind of testing what it was the 3DS could do for the Pokemon franchise. And then, you know, right after that, I think it was right after that, correct me if I'm wrong, or not. I don't like to admit that I'm wrong, you know, being a Leo and stuff like that. But star stuff aside, because I'm a Capri Sun, what was that I was on? This is the power of ADHD. I was just totally forgetting what I was on about. Oh yeah, Sun and Moon. So I didn't necessarily vibe with those games at all because, you know, for me, like, it really broke away from that certain formula. And all right, so what do we got to do? Go to Cherry Grove. And it's not a bad idea to be going off formula and like experimenting things. And I believe that's what they did for Sun and Moon as well, is where they would experiment with what they could do with the main franchise in terms of how to play the game, because it's just sort of been the same formula since day one. You know, go get your Pokemon, you get a rival, name the rival, battle the gyms, take down the Elite Four, catch all the Pokemon. And I'm sure they wanted to break away from that for a while. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I think a lot of the character designs, a lot of the way that it looked, it was definitely appealing. And I won't deny it that. But for me personally, like, actively playing a game on my free time, it's just, I always go back to titles like this. And it's one of the reasons why I decided to do a series on it for this show, because, you know, Pokemon Emerald Genesis, it is a fun game. It's cool. I love the quality of life changes for it. I'm not seeing much of a difficulty spike. I don't know if that was one of the expectations for that title, but it's a lot of fun. And honestly, if you have the time after this, to go ahead and check that out as well, if you think you'd like that, because I believe I'm going to be posting at this point. I feel like I can handle about 2 videos a week. I'm just now getting started with this stuff, but, you know, maybe 1 video of this and 1 video of the Emerald version. So I'm going to try to figure out how to balance that out. And I believe this is going to be the old man that gives me my running shoes finally, because walking is way too slow for me. Pokemon catch, you know, they sell Pokeballs for catching Pokemon and stuff like that. I don't know how someone can be that old and run around that much. I can hardly even sit down for a long time or stand up for a long time. I'd prefer to sleep if I could. But yeah, you know, a lot of expectations after getting games like this were just super increased, because, you know, looking at Diamond and Pearl and the typical response for that game for the remasters, honestly, I was actually a little surprised about it, is what I want to say. Because, I mean, Diamond and Pearl was honestly, like, one of the best games. Like, obviously, you know, you get Red and Blue versions. I grew up on those. And then Gold and Silver, those really really got everybody going too. And then, you know, I don't know what the typical response for... I'm going to go ahead and set my running shoes on because I don't like to hold down the button. But, you know, for Ruby and Sapphire, I don't know if that received as big as a response, but I know Emerald was one of the more memorable ones, hence why I'm also playing it with just quality of life improvements. But, you know, after getting a bunch of games like that, and then you get really good remakes, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and it tends to just raise your expectations. And I think that's what really went sideways with Diamond and Pearl, is that not a lot of people were expecting to receive what it was that they were hoping to get. And I get that, because I was hoping for a lot more too, because my first immediate thought was, whoa, you know, considering where the graphics are nowadays, you know, we could get a Diamond and Pearl version that's a lot like Sword and Shield, but it didn't come out that way. And it was a little bit of a turnoff. Oh, you know what? We got to get that little box that holds the apricorn things, because we're going to try to do as much as we can in these episodes. But yes, I would like a thing to carry the apricorns, please. And that was another cool thing about this like remake, was that you were able to turn these apricorns into Pokeballs. And I kind of wish that they brought that back, because obviously I think we're still in need of a variety of Pokeballs. Because when I was playing through the Brilliant Diamond remaster, and I was trying to catch Heatran at one point, and obviously he's a very heavy Pokemon, as well as Giratina is. And the best ball to have caught them in would have been the Heavy Ball. And obviously I don't have access to those, so either use a Cave Ball or a Quick Ball, or just keep your fingers crossed. And when I caught Dialga, I actually only used a Pokeball for that, and I can prove that. But it's just being able to have little things like that in newer games that this game has. You know, having the Pokemon follow you around, the variety of Pokeballs at your disposal, and it just adds that much more. But I will still go and defend the Diamond and Pearl remakes, because I still think for what it was that we have been receiving for the last... Oh, what? I've never seen this happen before. It's supposed to be upscaled. And is this old man supposed to be a thing of camouflage? What am I... Okay. Alright, so what was I on about? It's so hard to get back on track after seeing this. That's weird. Never had this do this to me before. I don't really words. I don't even know what to say about it. It's got me that much off guard. But I'm assuming I'm talking to Professor Oak, and that is the case. Pokemon researcher, yada doody dee da, Professor Elm, blah da 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 da. Oh, what's this? A rare Pokemon, I see. You must be helping Professor Elm's research. I think I understand why Professor Elm gave you that Pokemon. You will treat your Pokemon with love and care, it seems. Unlike some people that we're about to meet in this game. And I think I'm going to go ahead and give him a name that really bodes with... is bode a word? I think bode is a word. But it really vibes. I think vibe is going to be the better word for it. But I'm going to give him a name that really vibes with a certain character that you would know if you watched a certain part of the Pokemon animated series. And I always named him that name, and I am convinced that is like his canon name at this point. Alright, so obviously that glitch behind me is Cyndaquil. Doesn't glitch that out. That is so weird. How did that happen? Alright, so... Okay, well that's fixed. Oh, Professor Elm. I wonder what he wants. Oh, you know what? We gotta customize this Pokegear as well. Let's see here. Edgy. Edgy. We gotta make everything here edgy. There we go. Alright. Gotta make our way back down to Cherry Grove City. And to make it forward on these events right here. The music has always been really cool too. But yeah, you know, like I was saying, because we receive really cool games like this, the bar has definitely been raised for the franchise, and I think it's very hard to be able to come back from that, or at least try to achieve that same greatness that they had done. What was it, like 12 years in the past now? Can't believe it's been that long at this point. But, you know, it is what it is, as they say, and just we gotta keep playing the games that we receive. And I'm not gonna lie, I thoroughly enjoyed Diamond and Pearl, so I'm glad I have those. I'm glad those came out. And with that being said, we have finished the first episode of the Wasabi Fi playthrough for Pokemon SoulSilver. So if you felt that this was a little bit more than subpar, comment, like, share, subscribe, interact as much as you can. If you disagree with me about, you know, the Sun and Moon franchise, the Black and White franchise, let me know down below. And I do have more links down in the description below for you to check out. So again, Wasabi out.